Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Abe with MysticGenMara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho. And today, tonight, whenever you happen to be seeing this, I would like to offer your love and relationship reading for the elemental energy of fire for March of 2026. Fire covers the zodiac signs of Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So if you are Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, or have fire high up in your chart, this message is for you. And if you've never had your charts read, there's a link in the description. It's not a sponsored link or anything like that, but it's for a natal chart. It's a base chart, gives you your 12 houses and all of the little signs and symbols. And there's 10 to 20 pages of a description telling you what all that means, because there's a lot of stuff there, and it's taken I'm still trying to understand all of mine, and I've had the thing for a minute. So if you're interested, you can check that out. How I like to do the readings for the relationships is we look at the singles first, then we look at those in a relationship. We see which chakra is lighting up and what lesson is going on there. And I've added in the Whispers of Love Oracle, so we'll add that in then. And then we'll move into the tarot, get a little more clarity as to what's going on there. So with that, we will start off with our fire singles. You have, oh, that's an interesting card, number 35, Rigidity. So we'll look in the book here in a second, but what I'm getting with this one is this could be a third eye energy, and I'm also seeing that this is a call to not be so stuck in life. Finding a new balance, finding a new way to be more fluid in how you interact with the world around you is actually going to benefit you. Keeping your core values, that's that righteous persistence, righteous path energy that we see with the I Ching a lot, is going to be very beneficial. But don't get so stuck on thou shalt do it this way that you forget to actually live life. And that's what I'm getting with this one, is you want to make sure that you're sticking true to your values, but you're not sticking so true to the word they keep showing me is dogma, so we'll go with that. And not sticking so structured to a dogma that you can't actually see another person's point of view, because that will in the long run actually block you. So let's take a peek here. We're in the throat chakra. So I was wrong, we're down here, not up here. The animal is the elephant. You can see him right there. The elephant is one of the most intelligent animals. When domesticated, it often is decked out with adornments that come from having learned to be obedient and respond to its master's wants and needs. It loses independence that comes with thinking for itself. It thinks and acts as it is told to, sure that it is doing the right thing even when it's not. Even so, traditionally, the elephant is linked with power of memory, patience, and an intuitive understanding of nature. So our keywords are, this is interesting, dogmatism versus flexible thinking, memory, coming to terms with difficult issues, searching for the key to self-understanding, and patience. So fire singles. This is really a strong energy that's coming up here, where you don't want to get lost in this is what I have to be, this is what I have to do. Okay, those are things you can work towards, but we're not living in a life of this is the only view of existence. So you want to make sure that you're seeing things from the perspective of what is really going on here. Just like with the energy that they talk about with the elephant being basically trained, this is how you will act when I say jump, you jump. Or you can start to think for yourself and think outside the box. And for some of you, this could be that energy where you were raised in a very specific type of household, where you were expected to have this type of a relationship, have that white house, the white picket fence, the 2.5 kids, the 3.5 dogs. This is what your structure is supposed to be. This is how it's supposed to always work. That's not always the case, because the reality of life is, no one in your family, if they're the ones telling you that, look at them. None of them, none of them, have ever followed that exact blueprint. So when you start to look around and not see everything from the box they tried to paint around you, all of a sudden, fire singles, you're looking around going, wait a minute, you said this, but that's not how you did it. And they're like, I am wiser. No, they're not. They may have had a few more experiences than you, and that's fine. You can take their advice, but take it with a grain of salt and create your own existence. And that's where this, with the throat, it's communication, but it's really saying learn to discern the proper aspects and uses of this communication, because it's not always going to be exactly as it's being played out. So with that, your message from the Whispers of Love is do something for someone else. Give your attention to another. When you get wrapped up in those moments where you feel that you have to do what you're supposed to because someone said so, and you get frustrated, you want to call that person out, you want to say the thing that you're not supposed to say, and this is card number 41. You can, shove it back down, choke on it, and make yourself upset with it, or you can go out and do something for someone else. Go walk a dog. Go to the animal shelter. A lot of the shelters that I've been around, they have a walk a dog program where you can go sign up and take the dogs out on leashes and walk them for a couple of hours every day or whatever. Go do something like that. Go out with your friends. Get away from the environment that is causing the frustration for you. And when you're doing something for someone else, and like I said, the dog walking is an easy one, but if you're someone who likes to volunteer at like an old folks home or something along those lines where you're just doing something because you choose to, this is a way to help see of a more flexible viewpoint and break some of that rigidity. And when you do that, as without, so within, by changing how you're experiencing life, you're changing how you view the world from inside. And that's what this is saying, is when you get out of the thought process and go out into the world, you change from thinking about it, worrying about it, burying it inside, to experiencing life, and that is going to be a huge benefit going forward for you. So we're going to pull some tarot here and see what the fairies have to say, because I love this deck. And we are starting off with the Princess of Winter. Intuitive, truthful, realistic, and undiplomatic. This is what you get to be, or Fire. You don't want to be diplomatic with this. Information that can help you, but which may also be difficult to hear. That's the true thing. Speaking the truth with kindness, an indigo child or adult. Indigos don't know how to lie, and they don't know how to deal with you when you do lie to them, because they're going to call you out. That is just a given. If you've ever been around a genuine indigo, first of all, they do not brag about it. Second of all, you ever try to lie to them, they will eviscerate you. They might do it with a smile on their face, and you may not realize it just happened. 15 minutes later, you're going to be like, hey, no, wait a minute. They just straight called me out. Yes, they did. And they will do it again. Don't cross them. But the thing is they're not doing it to be mean. They're doing it because you need to hear the truth. You need to strip away that illusion. Indigos tend to be very dominant in water energy. So with that, you have to remember, they can be very emotional. They can also be very awake. And when you are looking at this, breaking that rigidity, finding a more fluid sense, Fire, if you have an indigo friend around that calls you out on stuff, you might want to listen to them. They are going to be tapping into a fluid and a flow that you may have never looked at before. And as you're doing stuff for other people, you might actually accidentally bump into a difficult truth that opens your eyes to a different reality. But in honesty, the reality you're seeing at that point is going to be the best one for you on your journey. Now, when we look at this in the prospect of being single or in a relationship, we're going towards a relationship. This is saying, if you've ever wondered why things don't work out well, could be there's something in the way. And that's where that indigo aspect of a friend is going to come in and be like, listen, this is what's going on. You need to stop this and this and this. And it's going to be ripping a band-aid off for you. But it's necessary. And it's not going to be comfortable. We're just going to throw that right out there. Now, this is not a comfortable period. But you have number 14 in the Major Arcana, so big life lesson here, which is balance. Take everyone's input into consideration. Merge viewpoints to create a better solution. Take your time. There's no need to rush. Fire singles. You don't have to worry. Don't run into something because, well, so-and-so said, or this person said. That doesn't matter. Fire singles. Take the time to actually think about what's being said to you. The people in your family that are making you feel like you have to be rigid, but also that indigo that's over there poking you with a stick. You want to make sure you're aware of both sides of the equation, and when you step into that and you look at it from a temperate standpoint, which this is, I believe, the temperance card, that's when you find balance. You start to understand that sometimes the two hands are actually washing each other, even though it feels like they're fighting. And so you have to hear the one side and the other, and then you have to figure out where the truth lies. This is not really a big... The energy I'm getting from this one, Fire Singles, is this is not a time for you to rush out and look for a relationship. This is the energy of look inside, see what's going on in there. And if you happen to be open to a relationship, this could lead you to that. Not saying that it will, but it could. But if you are just kind of like coasting and not really worried about a relationship, this energy is saying, okay, well, there's some inner work that could be benefited by a little bit of meditation, a little bit of journaling, a little bit of prayer, and then see how it plays out for you in the long run, because there is something moving for you, Fire Singles, and it's moving to step you into a better place. So, see how that works for our Fire Singles. Before we hop into the Fire Couples, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And if you happen to see something different in the cards than what I bring forward, feel free to comment, let me know your thoughts, feelings, and impressions. It's always interesting as someone who reads intuitively to hear what other people see in the cards as well. Because usually you can get a different perspective. These are general readings, so again, it's pretty open to how you're feeling in the moment. But if you happen to see something different, you might help someone else along the way. Because you never know how much intuition you really do have until you start playing with it. So let's get started here with our Fire Couples. Now this could be you are the fire element in the relationship. It could be for your partner, so you're cross-watching. Or between the two of you, you could just have a lot of fire going on there. So we are starting you off with, we'll be in the throat chakra again, number 34, and dialogue. Fire couples, you really have this ability to communicate. You can speak well with each other, and how you show up in the relationship actually is reflecting to others. You have friends that are starting their relationships, and they're looking at you going, how do I get that? I want that. And it's simply because you guys have figured out how to communicate with each other. And this open dialogue has led you to the path of beauty, of serenity, of growth and experience that other people, let's just say it, Fire, they're jealous and they're not sure how you did it. They want to mimic it, but they can try. They're going to have to find their own path. But you are really in a good spot here. So let's take a peek in our book and see what else we got. We are in the throat chakra, and this deity here is Matangi, considered to be a powerful manifestation of the tantric arts, which is perfect for a couples reading. Matangi is a fierce form of Saraswati and another manifestation of the Divine Mother. Known as the Dark One, she resides in the throat and is thought to have authority over speech, knowledge, and emotional expression. Fire couples, you are spicy this month, and that's actually a good thing. But you also know how to communicate with each other, and sometimes it's a look, sometimes it's a phrase that means nothing to anyone else, but to you two is a promise of something later. So you are in a really good spot. Your keywords are listen to the truth, clarity and communication, sensing underlying emotions, developing better communications, and being able to discuss emotional situations. So you are in a beautiful energy to, even if something happens to come up, because you both are open to this relationship and you're open to being discussed, open to discussing things with each other, this is where you really shine. And that's why other people are jealous of what you have, Fire, because you really are in an amazing relationships. So the Whispers of Love says, love who you are, which you already do. You are divine, delightful, and deserving of the wonderful things life has to offer. And when we look into the concept of Tantra through the original Kama Sutra, not the newer ones, we understand that when you love your partner, you're loving yourself. And with this inner dialogue and this dialogue that connects the two of you, these two cards are literally saying, what happens over here in the more intimate arts is still part of this communication, because you two are in an amazing situation. You are able to communicate in ways that deepens your relationship, that is loving who you are. You appreciate how you exist. You appreciate your partner. You really are connecting at a very deep level. This month of March being a month of the spring equinox, so you're starting to get into that fertility aspect. You are really feeling your oats, so to speak, and that's going to play out very fun for our fire couples, I'm hearing. So definitely take a peek at how that communication that you have, and I don't care if you've been together for 6 months or 60 years, you know each other well enough to know what a glance, what a look, what a comment, what a brush of the hand upon another means, because you know how to have that dialogue. And the longer you've been together, the more soul to soul that dialogue will kick in, and it's to become one. When you love your partner, you love yourself. When you love yourself, you love your partner. So you are in a beautiful energy here, fire couples. So our first tarot is the 8 of Autumn. Do more research before proceeding. Education in the form of seminars, going back to school, apprenticeships, and excellent craftsmanship long-term projects. Your relationship is a long-term project. You've been working on this and you are so excited to keep going forward. There's always more you can learn, and that's where this is bringing forward. So if this is something where you've never thought about trying, a different way of having a date night. Well, we've always went to the same place we always have. Try something different. We always order in Chinese. Okay, well, try a different restaurant. There's a lot of different things here, but it's saying don't get stuck in the mold of this is the only way we can be. Try something different. Try something new. Really get into that flow energy where your dialogue between the two of you becomes more. And if you are, wanting something more exotic, like I said, the concept of Tantra is working with senses. It's a sensual art, but it's because of touch, it's taste, it's sight, it's your hearing. You're bringing everything into that moment, and it turns on a different part of yourself. And if you're working with your partner, it turns a different part of them on. So this 8 of Autumn is saying, do some research, figure out, you're in a good spot right now, but what else can you do? And like I said, the date night one, instead of always having the exact same date night, which is great, what about something different? Instead of, like I said, going to the same Chinese, go try an Italian restaurant. Go try something a little more unique, something outside of the norm. Just for one time. You don't have to do it all the time. Just try something different this month is what I'm hearing. Your second card is the 6 of Winter. Positive changes are on their way. A welcome relief from troubled times, traveling, or relocating. This is not saying you've had troubled times. This is saying if you've been curious about something, there's been a situation you've been dealing with, that's over. That's in the past, and you're ready to move into a better place. And this positive changes is this dialogue that you and your partner have been having, this shifting into a higher state of connection where you love who you are, because to become one, so you love each other more each time you are around each other. This positive change could be the world around you is shifting. Like, you could have those friends that are, like I said, they're jealous of you, but all of a sudden they get clicked into their partnership. They open up their own dialogue because of who you are, fire couples. You're radiating that to other people, which is waking them up to how they could best communicate with their partners. Or if they happen to be single, which fire singles could use some support right now, you could be the one that shows them or introduces them to their future partner, because the positive changes of how you two exist in this moment are rippling out to others. Fire couples, you are looking great. This is an amazing setup here. And with fire singles, it's definitely a time for some inner work, inner reflection. Get a little clear on who you are and where you're going. That way, when the door for a relationship opens up, you're like, oh no, I'm ready for this. Let's do this. And that's where the energy's coming in for our fire family. With that, I will let you guys and gals go. Have a great rest of the month, and I will see you in the next video.